Hey everybody, sorry, I'm just getting up and getting ready, having my breakfast and getting ready for work. And, I just want to make a quick video. What is this garbage again? I mean, every day now the police are being made to look like they're a brutal force and they're shooting up black people left and right every day, and they're younger and younger now as poor victims. Did you forget about the little girl who was shot innocently in a drive-through in the backseat of her car because some gangbanger decided to just start shooting and some little girl got killed? I saw the police footage, the body cam footage. And even with the body cam footage clearly showing that that cop had every right to use deadly force, because that's what they do. That's how you're trained. Even in security, that's how we're trained. If somebody has a weapon and they're wielding it at somebody, you shoot, and you shoot to kill. I don't care if it's a knife, a gun, it doesn't matter. What, are you going to wait for another innocent? No, again, the media is spinning this around and the family's lying. I don't care if she was a 16-year-old black girl. I don't care if you're green or Asian or white. I don't care who you are or how old you are. You're going to come at somebody with a knife. She knocked one girl down already. We don't even know if the girl was stabbed. The police don't know that. And then she's coming after another, and she's in mid-swing with the knife. She would have stabbed that girl. Now, mind you, somebody called the police and said, help us. There's a fight and there's weapons and someone's going to get hurt. So the police come up, they see this big gangbang fight, because of course a lot of these black people have to fight against each other like they have no civilization in them, right? Like you're raised like an animal or something. And then when the police show up and do their job, it's the police fault. So should we have just sat there and watched you kill each other? Is that what the police are supposed to do? Just sit there and let it happen, because then they'd be at fault for that. The police are always getting the garbage end of the stick, and I'm tired of it. I would have shot her myself. If I was coming up on that scene and I saw somebody about to be stabbed to death, you're darn right, I would be a good Samaritan. I would jump in that and I would do whatever was necessary to save a life. The girl who had the weapon obviously had intent. You don't show up with weapons at a fight and have it brandished and start swinging at people and say, oh, I wasn't going to do nothing with it. Really? Or isn't that what they always say? I didn't mean to kill my wife. I didn't mean to kill this person. Oh, it was an accident. It was an accident. Oh, so you had a weapon and it was pointed towards somebody and then it went off in your fingers and it was an accident? Or, oh, you had a knife and the knife just stabbed somebody multiple times and, oh, it was an accident. You slipped 12, 13 times, you slipped. Enough. You want to act like a criminal? You want to act like an animal? This isn't a race thing. Wake up. I'm sick of this black garbage. Black this, white this, racism, Asian. Stop. Every skin color has idiots, losers, criminals. You are either a good person or you're a bad person. I don't care what color you are. And you make that decision every day, how you're going to live in this society. And if you're going to run around beating people up, causing fights, bringing guns and weapons to a scene, expect to get shot and killed. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. When you take justice into your own hands instead of in the hands of God, don't cry about the consequences. Maybe you shouldn't have been there, 16-year-old girl. Why were you there in the first place? Why were you beating people up? There was multiple people there all beating the crap out of each other. And there was more than one weapon. You think that was going to end well? You think that you have a right? I don't care who started it. You have a right to threaten someone's life with a weapon? You have a right to kill somebody? For what? The girl who you were trying to stab didn't even have a weapon. So you're automatically going to jail. You automatically knew you're the bad guy. That's not a fair fight. So then you get shot and we're going to, oh, boo-hoo, the police. Oh, because the cop was white. What if the cop was black? How come every time a black cop kills another black person, the media doesn't spin it? You don't hear about it. But a white person has to do their job too. And it's not our fault that 90%, and this is statistical, 90% of the time when this happens, it's black on black crime or black on white crime, and it just so happens that the person getting shot is black because they're the one who's the criminal. That's a fact. This has nothing to do with police being racist. I would shoot you myself. Does that make me a racist? Look, if you're white and you're wielding a gun or a weapon and you're trying to hurt somebody and it's my job, I will shoot you. I don't care if you're a grandmother. I don't care if you're 3. That's the job of a cop. It's not an easy one. They go through extensive training and psychological exams. You have no idea what you have to go through to be in law enforcement. How dare you think that these cops are just rogue and they're just out there picking on minorities? Give me a break. Cut it out. And the media, shame on you for always trying to play the race card and keep this country divided. You are instigating racism. It's a tragedy for anybody to have to be hurt and killed by a cop, but it's even more of a tragedy when it's not being hurt and killed by a cop, but it's just people, normal people hurting and killing each other. And you know what? They would get away with it if they could. But when the police roll up and do something about it and catch them, all of a sudden, how that's not fair. What can I cleverly think up real quickly to get myself out of going to jail or going to the electric chair for what I just did? Why do you think you can do a crime and not do the time? Why do you think you can go and hurt people, rob places, loot, pillage, kill, steal, rape, and then cry the blues and get away with it when you get caught? But if you don't get caught, you keep going with it. Don't deny it. I have people in my life I've known who've been in jail multiple times for the same darn offense they never learn. And they deserve it, and they know it. And they know it. And they're white. They're white. They're not even black. Most of my friends are white. And they know when they're in trouble for drug dealing. They know that they deserve to go to jail for gang violence. They go and do the time. They get shot at. They get beat up by the police too. By white police, by black police. And they're white. But you don't see that on TV. No, you only see a poor black person got hurt or killed by a cop because they're black. It has nothing to do with your skin color. Maybe if you would stop causing the crime. Maybe if you weren't there, 10, 20 people having a fight in someone's driveway with guns and knives, the police wouldn't have had to be there in the first place. Did you ever stop to think about that? What, do you think you're just going to roll up in someone's house and start knifing people and get away with it? I mean, this is ridiculous. Your mentality. You got nothing to do with your time. Why don't you go work at McDonald's? Get a job. Do something. That's the problem with this socialized garbage system that we live in. Us good folks, us law-abiding citizens who would never hurt a fly, are out here working hard every day to make an income. While you guys, you got welfare checks coming in all the time, and you can afford knives and guns, and you can, sit there and get in gang fights and beat people up, and this is because you got nothing but time. You're a godless, lawless society. You have no civilized mentality. You're like an animal. Okay, you act like a damn animal, and you're gonna pay for it, and then you cry when you pay for it. Grow up, act like a normal person, go to church, get a job, learn how to love and forgive people instead of going, you got a problem with me? You got a problem with me? I'm gonna come over there and knife you. And then when you do end up, it turns around and justice is served and you get shot or killed, suddenly you're the victim? You shouldn't have been there, 16-year-old girl, in the first place. You should have been at home with your family. Or maybe at school. At 16 years old, it was the middle of the week. Why aren't you at school? Huh? Why are you wielding a knife? Why aren't you working? What are you doing at 16 years old with a weapon? And trying to use it on people? Unbelievable. And you want me to be the bad guy because I'm white? You want that cop to be the bad guy because he did his job? You deserved it. I'm not going to apologize for this. You were trying to hurt or kill somebody. Even threaten with a weapon. Now you do that to a cop and watch how fast you get shot. And then you're going to still cry, oh, he could have used a taser. Why would a police officer use a taser when you have a lethal weapon in your hand? You didn't have a stick. You didn't have a mace. You weren't using your fists. And if he did tasers, then they'd be complaining and trying to sue because he tased her. Either way, she's never wrong. I want to ask that family, that grandmother, that mother, who's spinning this around, where were you when your 16-year-old child had a knife and was with a gang of people beating people up in a suburban neighborhood? Where were you? How did you raise them? Why was she there in the first place? Why did she have a knife? A huge knife in her. I saw the footage. There's no excuse for this. I've seen every one of these footages so far on the news, and every one of them, in my opinion, did deserve what they get. You don't give the police an attitude. The same thing would happen to me, and has happened when I was younger. I got beat up and thrown around a room by police, had a gun in my face, because I was rollerblading in a building I shouldn't have been in with a girlfriend, and it was considered breaking and entering and burglary, and I had to do like 90 days of service and stuff at 18 years old because I just wanted to teach someone how to rollerblade. And the doors were wide open at 10 o'clock at night with the lights on, so we just happened to go in the building, set a silent alarm, police came in, we caught them off guard. They body slammed us both all around this room. And they didn't know. I mean, that was a little excessive. And they were white cops and we're a white couple of teenagers on rollerblades. No weapons, no nothing. Our car was parked a mile away. We rollerbladed there. Now, don't tell me now that wasn't excessive. And it was. But you know what? I became good friends with that cop later on. I should have known better than at 10 o'clock at night to be in a school rollerblading around, and then when the cops came, we got scared and we kind of hid, and then the cops saw us and we startled them, so of course they pulled their guns out, because they don't know what to expect at 10 o'clock at night. You're in a dark room, two people, like they're doing their job. We shouldn't have been there. And we learned the hard way, and we could have been hurt and killed, and you know what? It wouldn't have been the cops' fault. It would have been my fault. And I'm telling you, I stand by that. And my family would have said that. My father, who was a cop, would have said that. You know how many times I've been pulled over by police? Random checks. All the time when I had a sports car. And I'm white. In Wallingford, in Hamden, in Brantford, in places where they're all white communities. Do not tell me I'm being profiled. I wasn't. One time I had my girlfriend in the car. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't drinking. We were coming home from a friend's house. And the cop was insistent on checking my entire car and asking my girlfriend over and over again, are you okay? Do you want to be with him right now? Are you being held captive? And she's like laughing. She's like, no, he's my boyfriend. We just came back. Were you guys drinking? And this guy was going above and beyond for a quota or whatever. Yes, they can be jerks sometimes and abuse their power. He was probably a rookie. But still, do not tell me that it only happens to black people. Because it happens to me all the time and I'm white. And you know what really stinks about being white? I can't cry any kind of defense. Every time I get a ticket, even when I wasn't wrong, I have to pay it. How many times I've gone to court and paid a lot of money and even lost my car because I had to pay a huge ticket because the license plate fell off and I didn't know about it and I got in trouble. And there was no excuse. One day I was on the highway and the license plate fell off, so I stopped. I was on the way to an interview, dressed up in a nice suit. And I had to put the license plate in the back window so that it could be seen. A state trooper, abusing his power probably, pulled me over, even though there was cars driving 100 miles an hour, pulled me over. I can't see your license plate. It's not on the car. It's in the window. It shouldn't be there. Now, the dealers always put them in the window. So I don't know why this guy did this. and I was being very nice to him, and I wasn't even speeding or anything, and I said to him, I said, "Officer, just fell off. I'm on my way to an interview. It's very important. I don't have tools on me to put it back on right now. I stuck it in the window. There's nothing I could do about it. I was on the highway." And he got me anyway, a $400 and something ticket, okay? Gave me attitude and everything. And I was driving a very nice car. I was in a nice suit, and I'm white. I don't want to hear the race card. He was white as well. In fact, some of the nicest police officers I've encountered are black. In fact, I can't ever recall a black officer, whether male or female, ever being mean to me. But the white ones can be, yes, but not just towards blacks. So you need to get off your damn high horse and cut it out the nonsense. Because you're going to need those police one day. And they're not going to be around because they're going to be gone because people keep saying that the police are bad. They are doing their job. If you would stop breaking the law, if you would stop sass-mouthing them every time you get pulled, even if you didn't do anything wrong, you don't know why they're pulling you over. Sometimes there's a suspicion, a similar car. It could be a million things. I get it all the time. And I comply with them. I say, "Sure, officer, would you even like to see the trunk?" Because technically I don't have to show them the trunk. But if I'm going to argue and they want to search my vehicle, it looks like I'm guilty. I got nothing to hide, so I, by all means, I search vehicles too when I'm doing my security job. I had to. I was doing high-end security at a very important government facility. I was doing bomb checks on people every day, and they didn't like it either. That was my job. And you know what? Sometimes I found weapons that weren't supposed to be there. So, job well done. People in trouble. They didn't like it. Too bad. And I was only a security officer. So leave the police alone. They have to deal with risk. They go to work every day not knowing if they're coming home alive. They got family at home too, okay, who need them. They're not looking to kill you. They don't want to have to, it's too much paperwork. They know that as soon as they fire that weapon, they're going to go to jail. So cut it out. Enough. You do the crime. You're somewhere you're not supposed to be. You're speeding. You're running away from the cops. You're giving the cops a bad attitude. You won't listen to them when they tell you get out of the car or show a license or you go reaching quickly for a gun or anything just to try to mess with the police and you get hurt and shot. Your own fault. Your own fault for being a bully and a loser, a jerk. Bad attitude, pride, think who you are. Do not complain. Because I'm telling you from experience and from a family of law enforcement and from many encounters myself in my 41 years on this earth, police do not go above and beyond 9 out of 10 times to cause trouble, to abuse their authority. They're doing their job and they're scared. They don't know if they're going to be in danger or not. So they have to treat everyone as if they're a danger. Because you'd be surprised that the most unlikely people, somebody that look like me, might shoot them dead. And if they think that, oh, well, they're white, so I'm fine. No, they're not. Or, oh, they look like they're cooperating, they're fine. And then they turn their back. That's how many cops have gotten killed over the years. And that's why they've been trained not to let that happen again. Everybody gets treated the same now. Because when they have to come to a call or pull a car over, they do not know, but they have to expect that the person is going to be angry and they're probably doing something wrong. And when you challenge a cop, even just to be a jerk, even to try to fight for your rights, you're not going to win. If you think something's wrong, you can go to court later on and win your case after the fact. But do not do it right then and there when your tempers are flaring and you're not going to win. Is it worth your life, even if you get justice? Is it worth your life or being crippled? That cop might even go to jail. But you're going to be dead and in hell. So who wins? Everybody loses because you want to be a loser. So again, I'm tired of this and I got to wake up and I see all these videos on my phone about... And I saw the footage enough. And you're going to hate me if you're black, probably because I'm a white guy. No, Candace Owens and a lot of other black friends I know would tell you the same thing. This is nonsense. It's garbage. It's lies. It's media spinning. And it's just to cause division, rioting, and chaos, because the New World Order's agenda is to bring order out of chaos. They want society to look so bad and unstable that they need to bring in martial law for all of us, lock us all down for the crimes of a few, and make society look so bad that in order to have peace, we all have to have a chip implanted so that we are monitored 24/7 so we can't commit a crime. And we know where you are. And, in order to keep the people alive, even though they don't care about life, they want to kill babies by abortion. They want, especially black babies, they want to kill elderly and sick people. They don't want them on the system. They're useless to them, to the elite. They can't work in sweatshops for them. They're not good looking enough to rape. So they're just going to throw them out, kill them. That's what they want. So they're going to vaccinate you even if it kills you. And they're going to force you to be vaccinated. They're going to force you to give the mark of the beast chip that the Bible warned about. And they're going to take away your freedoms and rights until you are living in a police state. And the police are not going to be the police you're dealing with now. They're going to be government police. Military police. You're going to have curfews. You will be told when you can and cannot leave your house, what you can and cannot buy, sell, or trade, when you can leave a state. You have no idea what's coming. Don't worry about the police being bad now. This is just the beginning. It's not the police. It's the people you elected. Most of you dumb Democrat liberals, you put these evil people in power, like mind, birds of a feather flock together, and now they're running the country and the world. And all of us are screwed now. Because you were godless, you don't know the Bible, you didn't pay attention in school, you know nothing about history, you're uneducated and ignorant, all you care about is yourself and being a badass, and having nice Nike sneakers on and gold teeth, and you getting yours. Yeah, nobody can tell you what to do. Yeah, that pride, that satanic pride attitude, and that's why these people are now controlling all of us. Thank you very much. And you just keep doing it. And you keep feeding into the media. And so you want to be lawless, and then we're going to have the police defunded, and we're going to have a new kind of police, and they won't be the police. And let me tell you, they'll shoot you too, and you're not going to say anything about it. Because the minute you do, they're going to shoot you too. And your family. You have no idea what's coming under this new regime in the future, the New World Order, and what it really is. So you need to stop now. You want to keep causing problems with weapons so all of our guns get taken away? They want to take our guns away. Did you ever see the movie Red Dawn? So that you can't defend yourself from a takeover. You guys are stupid. I mean, I am just so disgusted with Americans in general because 90% of you are so ignorant, brainwashed, gullible, and stupid. And you want to know why that is? You don't know Jesus Christ. You didn't read the Bible. So there's the real truth that you need to be taught before anything else. Everything you know is man-made garbage. They keep changing history on you. They tell you only what they want you to know so they can control you and keep you segregated and keep you at odds with one another so that there's constant division and chaos and all these different parties. Liberals and the Democrats and the Republicans. And so we're always fighting. And while we're fighting, we're too busy fighting and killing each other. They're getting away with grandiose agendas that are going to control us all. And then they're going to crack down on us all and say, hey, you guys don't know how to play fair, so you know what? No more rights, no more freedoms. This is how it's going to be. Satan takes over. But of course, you don't believe in the Bible, so you don't even understand what I'm talking about. You need to drop your weapons. You need to get a job. You need to prove that you can be a human being like everybody else and act normal and dress normal and work and be something good. Otherwise, let me tell you, they're using you right now to commit the crimes, and then they're going to come and round you up and get rid of you first. Because think about it. If I were trying to be a world dictatorship, I would let the bad people cause the chaos so I can force the order out of chaos. I would let you guys kill yourselves. Save me the trouble. Kill yourselves off. Oh, here, do the drugs. Here, give them guns. Let them gangbang each other. Get rid of them. They're useless anyway, right? And then I would let you, after I was done using you for my political agenda and I don't need you anymore, I would send in the military and round you all up and throw you in a FEMA camp and get rid of you, just like Hitler. And don't think that I'm saying that because I agree with it or because I'm white. I am telling you what the agenda is. And they're not just white people running the show. All different colors. If they got money and power, if they're in the global elite, they're in there. And they all think the same. They don't have a problem killing babies and throwing them in McDonald's to hide the evidence. They've satanically sacrificed kids after raping them and getting adrenochrome to stay young and healthy. Okay? They do not respect life or God or religion. They are evil to the core. They only care about themselves and their friends that are the elite and having their yachts and polo matches and their mansions and living good just like the days of Egypt. If you were not a pharaoh or some well-to-do and you didn't have a pyramid erected for you, you had a lot of slaves. You got to live while the rest of the people starved and were beaten and whipped every day. Slavery started back in Egypt. And let me tell you something else you don't realize. Egyptians, Ethiopians are black. They started slavery. And it continued on after that, all over the world. Blacks had slaves first. They enslaved their own people. They'd still do it today in Africa and in other parts of the world. Some of them eat each other. Okay? Yes, there's human sacrificing in slavery even today. You don't hear about it in CNN because they don't want you to know. They want to keep you ignorant. Make it look like the white men are bringing this plight upon you, but it is not the case. Did you know that the Hebrews were more white than black? Okay, they were the Jews were the ones in captivity in Egypt. The black Egyptians were the ones that were enslaving the whites first. Oh, you'll never hear about that in your history book, though. Oh, no, it's always been the white men. No, white people were not in power first. We were never on top first. You were. There's your history for you. Why don't you go back and learn something? And it continued. And it continues to this day. All right? Now, the Muslims do it, and the Indians do it. There's caste system. This is not new just to the white people. This is every culture, all around the world, even today. You're just so busy being American, living in your own little American bubble here, being taught all this garbage by the American professors. You don't know the world and what's really going on out there because it doesn't concern you. And as long as you can get your WIC checks and your, everything for free and not have to work and you feel like you're entitled because your ancestors were slaves, you're wrong. Those people were hardworking people even before they were thrown into slavery. That was a tragedy. But it's going to repeat itself as history always does. And we're all going to be slaves one day to the Antichrist New World Order. So you better have Jesus or you're not going to be able to stand during that day if you're even alive at all. They'll probably kill you because you're a Christian, but because you have wisdom that they don't want you to have. Because you'll know what's really going on. But I'd rather be killed than enslaved and tortured. Kill me now, because I'd go to heaven as a martyr. I don't need to be here during the Antichrist New World Order, which is already here, and it's getting stronger by the day. Who wants to live like that? You don't know slavery in this country. But let me tell you who does. The poor Mexicans who are being kidnapped, not even willingly coming across that border, but thrown into sex slavery and sweatshops. Okay? By your elite government. It happens all over the world. China does it to Christians and Muslims and everybody. They throw them into sweatshops and sex slavery and they kill them when they're done with them. There's no respect of human life. There's no dignity allowed. This is a culture of death, a cancel culture. And they will do it to you too. I hate to have to say this, but America is too free. Too free. And that's why you take everything for granted. And you're not one of the people who are out there fighting in the military to keep that freedom. You're not a cop out there every day on the street risking your life to maintain peace when pretty much it's all over and gone. Peace is hopeless now. After the past couple years, after what the New World Order and the elites have done through mainstream media, Jesus himself said there will be no peace until he returns and makes his kingdom on this earth and gets rid of all the wicked people. And who are the wicked? You people who don't have Jesus, who have no morals, no fear or love of God, no love of neighbor, no integrity and morals and love of self. You're lawless. You hate being told what to do. You don't like the police. You're not going to heaven. You're going to be charcoal in hell. That's what you're going to be. That's the reality. And don't come at me and say, oh, Christianity is a white man's religion to instill fear. No, it's not. In fact, Jesus probably isn't white, he's Jewish. Guys, I'm not going to argue with the ignorant because you're only going to bring me down to your level and then beat me with stupidity. I don't have the stupidity level that you have to even fight with you. So I would lose because I'm not as stupid as you and you'll beat me at the stupidity game. When you have the intelligence I have, when you've read that Bible, when you walk with Christ for many years, when you had a good solid education, when you've worked hard most of your life, then come at me. When you're on my level, but don't sit there smoking your marijuana, wearing your Nike shoes that you just looted out of some store after you burned it down for some BLM movement, and give me some guy and call me a racist for saying that. No, I'm not being racist for saying that. Not all black people do that. Not at all. I got a lot of good black friends. I live with a black woman. She doesn't behave like that. She had a good job. She's a nurse. A maternity nurse. Educated woman. Very intelligent. Very good person. Christian. There's right there. So, you know what? I don't want to hear it, and there's no talking to most of you people out there because you're not going to learn. You're just going to hate me and, oh, yeah. I already know how it is to be young and ignorant and stupid and a thug. I went through my phase when I was like 16 through 18. Stupidest decision of my life. Paid for it, done, experienced it, no thank you. And if you think that I can talk like this because I have white privilege, let me tell you something about my white privilege. I never got to go to college. I didn't have the money for it. My family was a hardworking law enforcement family. Barely had enough to get us by. We did not go to college. I also am homeless right now. I'm living with a female friend who's a church friend who took me in. She's like a mother to me. Otherwise, I would have been dead over 2 years ago already. All right? I gave up everything to go and be a preacher. And it didn't work out because I was too conservative and traditional for my church, for the seminary, and I got run out of there and put on the street to die. White privilege? Let me tell you, the only people who made it in that seminary were the Vietnamese. They treated the blacks terribly and the whites worse. Okay? So that was the truth about seminary. And now you're going to go around talking about all this Asian hate? Really? Have you ever been the only white guy surrounded by a class of 30 Asians who mistreat you and laugh at you all day long and gang up on you because you're white and they speak their own language when they know how to speak English? That's just rude. Okay? Trust me, I've been there. I know what it's like to be in an all-black school as the only white kid and be picked on and bullied for it just because I was white. I know what it's like to be white in an all-Asian environment. Not fun. Okay, I know what it's like to be a Christian in a non-Christian environment. Real dangerous. Do not cry about your position and status in life. Do not judge me by my skin color and think that I got privileges and money and everything's great. No, my life has been terribly hard my entire life. And I don't get to have the social help that you guys get to have. You go down there, you pop out a few kids if you're lucky, and if you don't abort them, and, free abortions, free everything. I don't have welfare checks or WIC checks. I don't get rents. There's a waiting list 7 years long, and white people don't get on that list for housing. Because I'm white, and they tell me, don't you have family? Don't you have money? Why are you homeless on the street? There's no excuse. You have white privilege. White privilege? Then why are there so many white people dying on the street, eating out of dumpsters, I see more white people in New England homeless on the street than I see black people. And that's a fact. I have never seen a black person eating out of the garbage, but I see white people all the time, sleeping in dumpsters and on the side of the road. More white. Why? Because this system is screwed up, and it makes people think that if you're white, you should have an education, you should have money and a good job, and everything should be easier for you. But it's a lie. It is a lie spun by the skulls and bones, the elite, who've always had money and power, and get into these clubs and they take care of each other that way. But no, they use that to get other races against white people. It's not the truth. To make themselves look good, and they're terrible. White people are terrible towards other white people. They won't give you a dime. They'll go and give a black person money and say, oh, we have to help them because, they don't know any better. They had it hard. But when I go and ask them for $10 for gas or for food, oh, you don't need money. You did it to yourself. You should be like us. You should be living in Madison right now. Really? My own family threw me on the streets. Let me tell you something about black people versus white people. Black people are family oriented. So are Asians. So are Mexicans. White people, if you disappoint them, they will throw you to the street and blame you for it. They will let you die. They will throw you into a nursing home. They will abort you if they don't want you. I'm not trying to make us look bad, but I'm just saying, do not cry white privilege. Because no. White people, if they have this stigma where they have to be successful. Do you understand that? The way the system truly is, we don't get free help and handouts. We don't qualify for anything. Black people, Asians, Mexicans can go into a welfare office and come out with all kinds of gifts and rent assistance and free health care and all that. But if you're white, you don't have it that easy. I am telling you the truth. I'm living proof. I don't have these things. And I'm not trying to complain. I was raised to work hard for what I need. But I'm a Christian, so God provides. But I'm telling you, it would be easier for me if I was a homeless black person because they have all kinds of programs run by their own kind of people, and and trust me, this is something that makes me sick. When black people cry racism, and then I got to go down to one of these, places in the ghetto for assistance programs or whatever and try to get on there, I always have to deal with some black woman who gives me a nasty attitude because I'm white. Says things to me like, well, you shouldn't even have to be here. And they will skip over me even though I've been waiting hours in line to take another black person ahead of me just because they can. And they do it all the time. They take care of their own. You guys at least have a sense of dignity and culture where you take care of your own. But if you are in a white person's world and you are not on the same level as your white friends will get rid of you soon as you have nothing to offer them. Soon as you don't have a car anymore, they're not going to drive you. Soon as you're in trouble and you're trying to save your home, they'll let you end up on the street. So maybe white people aren't so great after all. I don't know. But I'm telling you, you are sadly mistaken if you think that there's this inequality. Because there's not. You're just not hearing from the 75% of us now in the world who are white and suffering, who are struggling just like you, who are not part of the 10% of the top elite, no, the 1% of the elite with all the money and the power and the education because they're in secret societies like the Freemasons. They've basically served Satan, and Satan's the god of this world right now, and so he gives them whatever they want as long as they bow down to him. If you don't do that, if you don't sell your soul, you're not going to make it, especially as a white person in this world. Satan designed it that way. You guys need to re-educate yourself. Do not look at white people and assume things. Sometimes we have to act a certain way just to get by also, because we have to stick with the status quo. We have to dress a certain way. We have to do things that we might not even want to do. Otherwise, we're useless redneck white trash, and we'll end up in a mobile home if we're even lucky to have a home. And once you get you're in a mobile home park, that's like worse than the ghetto of New Haven. You're considered, that's it, you're blacklisted from the white community. You're white trash. You're an embarrassment to your people, and they will trample on you. So do not cry to me the blues, because I'm in the same boat as you. You just don't know it because you think because I'm white. You're wrong. I've gotten beat up by cops. I've had guns in my faces. In my face. Oh please, I get pulled over all the time. I always have to pay my tickets, even when I wasn't speeding. They're always after me, and I'm white. As a matter of fact, the only times I actually get off are when it's a black cop. They usually go easier on me. Now, what does that say? You know, like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to make this video because somebody's got to tell the truth. This has got to stop. Stop watching the news. If you can afford all that cable, because we don't even have cable here. I got to get it on my phone. We can't even afford internet in this house. And you guys are watching TV, you got cable, you got to watch the news all day. Why don't you save your hundreds of dollars and go get a job or a car? Do something better with the money. Give it to me. I could use some groceries right now. I spend my day preaching and taking care of people. I need money too. You'll go spend it on marijuana and nice sneakers, gold teeth, BMWs, but you gonna cry the blues? I don't get to drive a BMW. I have a car that's on the fritz. It's a Ford, and it's old. But it suits its purpose. I haven't bought new sneakers in I don't know how long, and they're never nice ones. They're not Nikes. I can't afford them. They're Walmart, and they fall apart in a month. And I'm white. I haven't been able to buy clothes for myself in a long time, and I'm not the only one. And I don't do drugs. I hate drugs and marijuana and all that garbage. I don't drink. I mean, very rarely. I don't smoke cigarettes. I preach and I go to work and I do it all over again every day. I try to live without taking too much from this world, and I try to give back as much as I can. I try to be grateful. I try to love everybody, and I try to speak the truth. That's what I do. We all make choices every day. That's how I choose to live my life. You don't see me outside getting in knife fights or gun fights with other groups of people. Why? Because I don't associate with losers like that. I'm not a criminal. Because if I was, then I deserve to get arrested and shot. Absolutely. That's why I'm not a criminal. Because I don't want to get arrested and shot. And I don't want to hurt people. And I don't think who the hell I am that I should go out there and wield knives at people and threaten people and act all a fool like that. I don't need that. Because I already know I'm no better than you. And you're no better than me. And I don't care about how wealthy you are or how poor you are, or if you're black or you're white or you're Asian. None of us are better than anybody else. We are all brothers and sisters in Christ down here, whether you like that or not. We are all slaves in this planet. We are all having to share this planet. We just have different skin color, but we all bleed the same and poop the same. We all have the same needs. Okay, we are human beings. That's it. That's what you need to focus on. The reality. We are no better or worse than anybody else. Nobody's better than anybody else down here. I don't care what your color is. So you don't need to be in a gang. You don't need to be shooting people and stealing things and crying Black Lives Matter and every life matters. That's the truth. But if, I'm a racist and a bigot for saying, well, if you're saying Black Lives Matter, what about my life? Because I'm white, it doesn't matter? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what it said. That's what you're saying. What about the Asians and the Mexicans? They don't matter? Only Black Lives Matter? Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Get a job. Go do something productive with your life. Okay? If I was a black person, I'd be telling you the same darn thing. But I'm not. But I still know the truth. I still have common sense. So I'm going to tell you. And Candace Owens and a bunch of other people with Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington, all educated people, all had to deal with the same thing as you. No excuse. There's no excuse. Do not hide behind your skin color or your gayness or your poverty. Cut it out. You want equality, you want to be treated fair like everybody else, then you need to act like everybody else. You need to put down the guns and the marijuana and the weapons and get a job. You need to love each other instead of hate. Stop segregating yourself. Stop crying the blues. Let's not beat a dead horse. Even the Bible says, do not look back. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not even here yet, so don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on right now. That's all you have. I don't want to hear about slavery for 400 years. It's not here now. You're not dealing with it now. You're not in shackles. Get over it. Move on. You weren't the one in the shackles. I'm sorry that happened, but like I just said in the beginning in this video, white people are in shackles even today in some parts of the world. There's people in cages getting raped and murdered every day. They're white, they're black, they're every color. Okay? There's people being aborted every day. There's slaves of every color and race in this world. You just don't see it. And it's always been like that, going back since the beginning of mankind. And it started in Egypt, actually, 8,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, when the blacks had all the power in that area. And they were the kings and pharaohs and queens. And guess who was the slaves? The whites and the Hebrews. And their own people. Anybody who didn't have status was a slave. So we need to rewrite history, or we need to learn the real history. Either way, I was not here 6,000 years ago. I was not a slave back then. I'm a slave in this society to this new world order, just like you. So we all have something in common here, and I'm not black. But I'll tell you this, I'm not going to worry about what happened 400 years ago to my ancestors, who my grandparents and their kids, they were mistreated terribly too. They were slaves and they were Italian. They were treated terribly when they came over here. Okay? So it's not just the blacks that are everybody's getting their butt kicked. You know who the problem is? Your governments. The elite, the wealthy, the ones who have all the power and all the money. Those are the people you need to be mad at. Not white people in general. Okay? Not people who have more than you. Not the Christians. Go after the real guilty parties if you're going to go after somebody but no, you're too busy knifing each other and shooting each other and fighting amongst themselves. Stop with the gangs and form an army. If you had intelligence, you would form an army. And now here I'm going to get in trouble for being an insurrectionist, but you would form an army that does good. You'd be brothers and sisters in Christ. You'd be in Christ's army. And you'd be out there solving the problems instead of making them worse. If there's a poverty issue in a neighborhood, if you all come together and help each other, poverty alleviated. Did you ever think of that? Instead of being like, I'm going to get mine, and I'm only worried about me and what I deserve and what I need and what I want. You need to come out of the equation, and you need to love God. He needs to be the center, and then you need to love everybody else and make them your priority. And then it will come back to you. But instead, we're too busy about black this and white that and gay this and pride that and poor me and boo-hoo-hoo. Well, you know what? I can cry the blues too all day long. You don't know me. That's why I'm talking like this to whoever's going to listen. You don't know how bad my life has been and what I've had going through. And a lot of you don't care because you're going to look at a white guy and say, I don't care about what he has to say. He's white. What does he know? Way more than you realize. Way more than you realize. But you don't care because I'm not your skin color or it's not your life. Isn't that how it is, fellow human beings? We only care about ourselves and who we have in our little circle. And everybody else can go bite a bullet. Shame on us. We did this to ourselves and now we are losing our freedoms. We're losing this country. We're losing everything. And it's going to look like it's all for the sake of peace and safety. And, oh, this is great. We're going to keep getting stimulus checks. We don't have to work. Oh, this is wonderful. We're finally succeeding. You're not succeeding. You don't realize what's happening. Your government is enslaving you. They're taking away your rights and freedoms. They're dumbing you down so you don't know the truth. And you're like a frog in water. If you take a frog and you put him in cold water and you start slowly boiling the water, the frog will not jump out. He will acclimate until it's too hot and he'll die. But if you take a frog and throw it into boiling water, he's going to jump out. You and I are sitting in boiling water that's slowly boiling around us. And we're not, by the time we realize it, we're too hot and we're dead. That's what's happening. They're just going to give you stimulus checks. They're going to give you all this stuff. Oh, you have to have the vaccine because we care about your life. You don't care about our life. You want us dead. You want population control. It's on the Georgia Guidestones. You kill millions of babies in abortion and most of them are black every day. And you're going to sit there and worry about life. You want to pass bills to euthanize elderly people and crippled people. Oh, and you care about life. Give me a break. You're raping children and murdering them and satanically and drinking their blood. You care about life? Oh, really? You want to get rid of the police? You care about life? There's people starving all over the world. Bill Gates, are you feeding them? You care about life? Give me a break. What a crock. You don't care about anybody but yourselves and your money. And Kamala Harris, she's up there. She's one of them. And she's black. And then you got Joe Biden. There's nobody whiter than him. My gosh, that's just whiter than a paper plate. What an idiot. And he's running this country. Who voted for him? Not me. Not me. I had common sense. You guys have no idea what's coming. You need to stop knifing each other, shooting each other. Stop with the racism garbage. And if you're going to behave like that, you're going to behave like a bunch of hoodlums, then you deserve it if you get shot by the police. Okay? You deserve it. You're going to start gang violence and shooting and stabbing at each other. You deserve it. You did it to yourself, right? I hear that all the time. Steve, I don't feel bad for you. You did it to yourself. That's tough love. Real tough love. Okay. You messed with the police. They're going to mess with you. Stay away from them. Do what you're told, and you won't have to worry now, will you? And as far as, what about all this gang violence and killing each other? You do it to yourselves. Nobody told you to roll up on people. There's innocent children being killed all the time by your stray bullets. Black against black. Why? You care about your people so much you want to rise up and do BLM. Black Lives Matter? Really? Then why are you killing each other? Why do you steal from one another? Why do you constantly assault and batter one another? Don't tell me what Black Lives Matter. That would be as dumb as if I said White Lives Matter and I walked around this trailer park with a cardboard sign saying White Lives Matter. You know how many people would laugh at me and probably shoot me? Because they're going to say, oh, really? Our lives matter? Then why are we living in this dump? And we can't get out. Our lives matter, please. Nobody's life matters to the people in power. You need to know that, first of all. Because who's in power? Satan and his cronies. And so you don't matter. Because you're a human being, period. No matter what your skin color is, you don't matter to Satan. He hates you. The only good human is a dead and in hell human. That's how he runs things down here. But he'll use you and enslave you until your time's up, and then he'll burn you for eternity. So, yeah, your life don't matter. You have to make your life matter. And the only life that matters in God's economy is a life that loves and serves and obeys God and loves all others and takes care of thy neighbor. That's a life that matters. When you're at a funeral, we sit there and we listen to these stupid eulogies about how great the person was. Oh, they were such a good, but they did all these things. Really? The reality is that a lot of these people were deadbeat dads, drug addicts, losers. But what are you going to say? Tell the truth at their funeral, and then that's the last thing everybody heard about them. If eulogies were true, we'd all be in trouble. A real eulogy, a good person who dies, is a person who dies in Jesus and who spent their life really taking care of other people, preaching the gospel to save souls, going out there feeding people, loving people, trying to put a little bit of this world back together. Those are the people who had a life that mattered. And you know how you'll know if their life truly mattered? If they are actually in heaven when they die. Because if God, who's as patient and loving and merciful as he is, decides that a soul needs to go to hell, well, God's a very just and intelligent God. He does not want anybody in hell. So if somebody ends up in hell, it's because he knows they deserved it. So do not sit there and tell me that all these people, DMX and all these people, they're such great people. They're probably in hell. We don't know that. But if they didn't make it to heaven, if they didn't die a saint, their life did not matter. Not as far as God's concerned. You need to reorganize your life and start living according to what God says in things, not people and for the affections of people and for money. Because when you die and God says your life didn't matter because you didn't do what he told you to do and you didn't live in love of God and of neighbor, your life did not matter. You are a loser and you're going to go where trash goes. Hell. That's the cold, hard reality. So, none of us are perfect. We're all sinners. But if we were smart, we'd spend more time every day focusing on bettering ourselves and our relationship with God so we can actually go to heaven when we die. That means there's no time to be knifing each other and shooting at the police and getting gang banging and doing drugs and, being proud and gay pride parades and black pride parades and this and that. There's no time for that. You don't have much time left in your life. You need to spend every day getting closer to God so you don't end up in hell for eternity. And actually spending your life doing good in this world. So somebody could actually truly say, you were a good person. Otherwise, you're wasting your life.